Welcome to this week's EMBN show. We have got a packed show coming up for you guys this week. We're taking a look at something pretty special. It's something between a gearbox and a rear derailleur. Could it be the ultimate for e-bike use?
Yeah, we've had fun talking about this in lots of places this week, the Lao bike, but of course we've got all the regular stuff as well. Bike fault, where in the world, and of course, all the latest news. Yes, as I've said, over on GMBN with the Dirt Shed show and over on the Tech show, we've been talking about this bike, Lao bikes, this new design, new drivetrain system, which is really interesting. And like you said, it's kind of splitting the derailleur across the length of the chainstay. So it's a really different design, very protected, not as vulnerable as normal derailleur. But Chris, could this be something that works for e-bikes too?
Yeah, I think so. As you mentioned, there's loads of plus points going on with this. And I think one of the biggest things is that increased chain wrap that you're going to have on the cassette on the back of it, because you haven't got that derailleur pulling the chain away from the cassette at all times. I mean, on an e-bike, when you're in that hardest gear, you know, like in your 10-2 sprocket on the bottom, you've probably only got about 3-4 teeth in contact with that chain. So it's going to wear, you know, reduce that wear on those components. Vulnerability of that rear mech is removed out of the equation. So if you're riding tech terrain, you know, like weaving through trenches, rocks, you're not going to bash it off. And of course, the weight, again, is moved towards the center of the bike, so you can get increased handling. All for me is plus points, but it is just a concept at the moment, and it would take a lot of work, as you mentioned, to put this into an e-bike because of that reduced space and things like that. But I like the idea. What's your thoughts on it?
I can't get past you said bashing it off.
You're not going to bash it off.
Yeah, derailleurs are a nightmare because the last thing you want to be doing is bashing it off in the woods because these bikes are so vulnerable. So, I was thinking... Yes, derailleurs are so vulnerable, and the last thing you want to do is bash one off. I tried.
You got it. You can do this, honestly, you got it.
Because if you bash one off in the woods, you're getting in all sorts of trouble, because derailleurs are very vulnerable. Now, Chris, I was thinking, you know what? These designs that are coming out to change the way a derailleur works or change the way a gearbox can work for us, I kind of thought the solution to all this was going to come from e-bikes. And this is slightly different, but are e-bikes ever going to solve it?
I think this design is kind of like that halfway house. We're sort of leaning towards, still probably not the right answer in my eyes. I think we totally need to remove that whole derailleur. We need to remove that skinny chain. We need to remove the cassette out of the way. And I think, as you mentioned many times, there's a lot of manufacturers already on it. I know Shimano are secretly, I think, developing one behind the scenes for e-bike use, and that could be the ultimate answer for e-bike use. And gearbox, that motor, all in one, is the way forward. I think definitely for e-mountain bikes, maybe not for mountain bikes themselves. But yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments box down below. Is this a step forward or is it just a side step? Get involved.
Okay, time for some news, and check out Hans Ray riding his e-bike over in Sedona on the White Line.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? Crazy line this, and Hans was actually getting a bit of heat here about riding e-bikes in Sedona, and apparently in Sedona you can ride e-bikes purely on Jeep tracks only at the minute, so good to see Hans out there. And I mean, that White Line, the exposure on this thing is pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but is it a Jeep track?
I don't know. It's not technically a trail either, I wouldn't say, the White Line, but I don't know, a bit of controversy going on. But as well as Hans, I mean, check out this climb he's doing on here. Super steep entry, really tech climb coming out, and the grip and the power. I think it's amazing, this combination we see of trial skills mixed with that e-bike power coming from Hans is simply mind-blowing on every single clip, isn't it? And got some sad news as well to tell you, Mark. Danny Hart's bike park, the Descend bike park, has been broken into. Thieves have been in there and literally stolen everything from that bike park. We're talking about generators, tools, even cash for the charities that he's been working on, stolen from this. Real sad news here. And
it is.
They've actually set up a GoFundMe page so you can donate and get the bike park up and running. Details for that are going to be in the description down below. So get on there, donate some money and get this bike park back up to speed, because it's doing great things for riders here out in the UK. Absolutely.
Well said, Chris. Yeah, and we're going to be talking more about this on the Dirt Shed show next week, actually. We're going to be getting into bike theft, and is it on the rise? Over in the shop, we have got some amazing Christmas e-bike bundles for that e-biker in your life, Chris.
Yeah, him or her. We've got both packages going on. So if you've got a loved one that you want to get some e-bike kit for, check out all the merch in that. Of course, we've got the new tech tees, we've got new race jerseys, we've got beanies, we've got jackets. It is absolutely crammed to the gill. So get in there and pick out some Christmas bargains.
Yeah, got some cool stuff.
Right, it's time to look at all the comments from the recent videos we've done here on EMBN. And Steve did a recent video where he was out at the EEWS on one of the races, and it looked super hard. And it was, have they made e-bike racing too hard?
Yeah, first comment here, question is from Sylvain Lasnier. And he says, Steve, I think you've been traumatised. As the weight kilogram rule equally with technical skill, I think weight categories, like in the boxing, could be a nice improvement for the next EWSE. That's a good idea.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I think they have actually incorporated that in some of the UK races. You've got weight limits and different riders, but of course, I think the biggest thing is obviously the weight of the rider, but then you've got the power of the motor. You've got these different motors that put out different power. You know, you've got 85 Newton meters torque.
Is Sylvain kind of saying that Steve's a bit weighty?
Maybe, I don't know. He looked quite race trim, I thought. He did a good job on that, fair play.
Did.
We've got Paul J. Nichols. He says, I love what is happening with e-bikes. I find all the potential of it all very exciting. Love it, love it, love it. And it is constantly moving forward. I feel sorry for you guys on GMBN.
You know what? E-bikes has got some great stuff going on. I love the mix of e-bike and trial skills, like you said earlier on. Eugen X, he says, also, if you keep insisting on racing electrics, why not use one single battery, making the choice of how the rider uses and where he uses the battery and everything timed, stages and liaisons. If not, just put a new battery at the beginning, end of each stage and enjoy your electric moped racing.
Oh, bit of a salty one.
Yeah, a bit salty that one,
I do like the concept of that, maybe just using one battery, but then it's such hard work. If your e-bike does go flat, it's totally going to ruin the thing. So I think where we are with battery changes and that whole pit stop scenario, and it does come into play where you use that power and which power mode you use. It's not just riding around turbo mode the whole day. You've got to be pretty conscious of when you're using that power. So it does come into it. And
I'd like to point out, Chris, it sounds to me like Eugen X watched the whole video all the way through. Just saying. Just saying. Time for climb of the week, and this is Tony and Paul. I've forgotten the bikes, Chris. What are they on?
He's
here?
on a Specialized Turbo Levo and a Scott E Genius, and I mean, look at this spot. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Big chunk of granite, nice climb.
Where is that place?
He's in Stanthorpe in Queensland, Australia. So
very cool.
Yeah, got some cool shots going on here. Look at that, loads of pictures, videos. Love seeing the videos.
So
I think
much grip.
So much, you know, get a better idea of how steep that is, and they're coming back down it as well, so you get an idea of it as well. But look at
some great shots. It's really cool. Climb of the week is one of my favourites because I think some of the stuff an e-bike can take you up is amazing.
Yeah, it's great to see those guys just climbing up there, no sweat whatsoever, isn't it? Yeah. It just opens all those doors up. But as always, if you've got any clips, videos, photos, use that upload service to get featured here on eMBN.
Right, time to get out and about.
Right, it's time to go where in the world to see where you guys have been riding your e-mountain bikes. We've got some strong submissions in this week. What have we got first, Mark?
First one up is from Rob, and he is over in Claybank, North Yorkshire Moors. Beautiful picture.
It is.
Really great picture.
Very autumnal there, got some nice mountains in the background, getting some big mileage as well. He's on a 30 mile with 3,000 foot of climbing, cross-country ride. Amazing shot.
How many feet of climbing?
3,000.
3,000 feet, that's good, isn't it?
Big day out, isn't it?
It's a big day.
Right, this next shot is in from Dijan. He's on a Lapia Overvolt 7.6 out in Buhor. He's doing a circular route around Slovenian mountains, about 1,800 kilometres long. But that's not the ride he's been doing today, obviously.
Surely not.
50,000 feet altitude difference as well, so some big climbs up there. And I mean, look at that epic view, isn't it? Right over the valley.
Amazing, amazing. We are getting to see the world. Right, David on his Specialized Turbo Levo over in Palaranda, Townsville, Queensland, Australia. Very cool shot. This looks like a Chris Ackrig Trials video location to me.
It does, doesn't it?
It's very, very nice.
Like an old gun turret.
I might send this to Chris, see if he wants to use it. Really cool looking space. Look at that view in the background.
It does look really good, doesn't it?
Feels like holiday times.
Check this out then from Vincenzo. He's got his Canyon Spectral on CF8. He's out in Umbria in the centre of Italy. looking forward out over the valley. And I mean, again, look at the altitude that these people have been climbing. It's so good to see people right up in the hills exploring and really exploiting that e-bike's power. But yeah, some great shots here for Where in the World.
And lastly, in Where in the World, we've got this one from Scott on his Levo. This is the Kinder Downfall Peaks. Exploring the peaks with my like-minded riders. Very, very nice. That is an amazing shot.
Again, that looks like an amazing trial spot, doesn't it? Big chunks of granite riding down there, a descent down to the lakes in the background.
You can almost feel the grip in that rock.
Yeah, I can see Chris Ackwood hopping around all over those things for sure.
Yes, Chris Ackwood all day long in Where in the World today. Yeah. What's up next, Chris?
The favourite part of the show, of course, the bike vault.
Let's do it. Okay, let's get into the bike vault then. Chris, who are we starting with?
We are starting with Tony. He's got a 2021 Focus Sam Square. He's out on the Cathal Trail at my local Cumcan. I mean, he's right up in the hills there again. Nice shot, nice looking bike that. Really understated, aren't they?
Yeah, it's definitely a nice, next up, wow, this has got some paint job. This is Miha's Kenevo Comp in Nearby Woods.
Nearby Woods?
I got, what do you think of this colourway? I'm not sure.
It's kind of like an urban digital kind of camo thing going on, isn't it?
I like it and I don't like it.
I think in the right setting, I just think it looks out of place in the woods. Maybe it's the backdrop, I think, but I think that's another nice. But check this out from Dan. He's got a 2021 Aubert Rise out in Deerfield, Massachusetts in USA.
That's
out for a solo rip. It's a little bit, what do you call it?
Silhouette?
Silhouetted, yeah, can't quite see that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another nice one.
Oh, God, this isn't going well. We need something serious. Next up, this is only a nice because it's cropped. So, I mean, this is from Darcy. It's 2021 Turbo Levo SL Comp Carbon with range extender, I'll have you know. This is over in the super satisfying view summit in the climb of Mount Teed. But you didn't get the whole bike in the shot.
It's a shame because
unfortunately it's nice.
Way up in the clouds again there. Right, with this one, Mark, I am going to stop your nices. I think this has got to be a super nice straight off the bat. This is Paul. He's got a high bike all mountain 4, the top of Mount Tesio in Umbria in Italy. One of my favourite climbs with amazing views in the background. And I agree with that. Some amazing views there. Bike's looking good. Slight glare off that down tube, but I'm going to let it slip. Love the colours and I love the location. That one's super
You love
nice.
it. This is super nice. You love it. Right, next up we have got, I think we're back to the nices though on this next one. It's Mondraker Crafty from Jason over in Brisbane in Australia. It just looks like it's been very casually thrown against a tree, which I can see what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Bike facing the camera, but I feel like a side-on shot is what we needed.
Yeah, well, funky angles going on there, isn't it? The forks going that way. I think you need to get the cranks level, get those bars straight, get all the whole bike in there, line the tyres up, cranks level, pedals level. It all makes a difference, right?
Yeah, but I tell you what, it's certainly nice.
It is nice.
It is nice. So that's a good way to end the bike vault this week. We're out.
And that is the end of the show too. So let us know what you think about gearboxes. Should we go in that halfway house from the Lao bikes, or should we go that full gearbox? Let us know in the comments box down below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out that merch store for all the Christmas gifts going on, and give us a like and follow on social media too. And we shall see you next week.
See you later.